the first most important thing that you need to be able to do is systematically reflect and observe what's going on. And specifically, you need to key in on observing things that you can actually affect. Okay? So, sometimes a common mistake that I see is, coaches or leaders will focus their observations on things that they actually can't affect. An example of that might be, I don't know, maybe like a certain player keeps making all these different types of like crazy highlights. And a lot of times that might not be something that you can actually affect. Like if it's a lucky play or if it's, this crazy layout and then the dude is making a crazy hammer, like we might not be able to affect that. We might be able to affect it, but you want to make sure that these patterns that you're finding are the things that you're keying in on, not just like a one-time occurrence. The key is finding patterns, okay? Just because one guy got beat up line or one person, one completed huck happened, that doesn't mean you need to change your whole offense. You want to make sure that you're seeing a pattern, okay? And to do that, you need to put yourself in a position where you are just focusing on what's happening, right? So ideally, you're not the only coach, you're not the only person looking for this, but you're going to want to identify like the key big areas, right? What is their offense doing and what type of patterns are they running, okay? Are they running horizontal and what types of patterns do those horizontal cutters run? What does their handler system look like? What are they trying to do? Like put yourself in their coach's head. What do you see them like practicing during their practices that you can see in the game? All right? And you're looking for those patterns because disrupting those patterns is going to be the key to disrupting what the other team is doing. Okay? And then now that you're looking for those patterns, like you've got to create some way for you to communicate the patterns that you're seeing on a regular basis. So that maybe that means that every single point, you and maybe a couple other people, maybe it's you as the leader and the offensive captain and the defensive captain, or maybe it's you and a couple veterans on the team. Every point, what that's going to look like for me is maybe after every defensive point, I'm going to walk over to the defensive captain and I'm going to say, okay, what are we seeing here? Okay, maybe that conversation is going to look like their offense is horizontal. They're really isolating that one guy, and they've got one handler who really they've got one handler who likes to huck it deep. Great. Maybe those are some takeaways. Maybe that was the first point of the game. That's what we saw. We've got some data. Boom. Let's go play another point. We check in again. And once we start saying the same types of things again, and again, that's our cue to say, okay, we see a pattern and we need to adjust it. Okay, so make sure that you're checking in consistently about things that you're seeing after every point, maybe during points, maybe on the sideline. You're just sort of verbalizing what you're seeing. A lot of times when I'm coaching, I'll be my co-coach on the high school team that I coach right now. A lot of times we're just verbalizing and sort of saying what we're seeing, and I'll hear my coach say something and I'll be saying, yep, I see that too. And so that's the first part, is we have to have a structure for how we observe, make sure we're doing it consistently. We want as much data as possible.